always followed my instincts, and I think every incredibly successful entrepreneur will tell you that. And sometimes your instincts defy every amount of logic that you have. So it's quite a balance, and I think I'm probably lucky the earlier stages of my career meant me being on my own a lot of the time. Because I think back that if I had someone to bounce those ideas off, would they have said, geez, that's crazy, don't. But for me, it's always been really important to have a moment on your own, to follow your instincts, whatever comes up. And a lot of the time, it's if you can sit by yourself for a minute in silence, you'll tune into that instinctive drive.
I think most big difficult decisions in my career have come from resourcing related decisions. So it might be someone that's not performing, or it might be the organisation I work for has had to downsize and we've needed to let people go. So I think from that point of view, trying to remove some emotion and use data to help make the decision has been really useful, especially around resourcing where it's very much about the individual. So trying to understand historical performance of that individual, or it might be looking at how they perform compared with other people in order to come to a decision about which person needs to be downsized or involved in that downsizing decision. So I guess a lot of those difficult decisions, removing myself from the situation and trying to use data has helped.
I had a very big decision to make earlier on this year, and it was difficult and hard and challenging and incredibly stressful. And it was to do with the fact that we had come into COVID in March and we were going into lockdown at exactly the same time as I had organised the Australian Intrapreneur Summit, booked out the convention centre, had people flying in from all over the world and around Australia, and suddenly we couldn't have an in-person event. So what do you do? And I was getting a lot of conflicting advice from people saying, oh, you'll have to cancel it. Of course you'll have to cancel it. You can't put hundreds of people in a room together. We're about to go into hard lockdown. And I was also thinking to myself, well, if I cancel it, I'm not sure my business will survive. So it was a difficult decision. But, this is where we know how to rise to challenges, when we have to make those really difficult decisions. So literally within 2 days of the event, we pivoted this massive event from being an in-person one into what's being referred to these days now as a hybrid event. So we had some people beaming in and some people on site. We were allowed to have 10 people in the room. So we had this massive room that could fit hundreds of people. And we had the Brisbane Convention Centre do all of the AV, and they set us up with a broadcasting studio. And then we started beaming people in from all around the world. Some of the speakers who were local in Brisbane still opted to come on site to deliver their presentation. Some did them from wherever they were, in Silicon Valley or Washington, DC, or Stradbroke Island, as the case may be. And the interesting thing was that people were really supportive because they could see what a difficult time that was. And so people were very excited and enthusiastic about helping us to pivot this event into a hybrid event. And, we sent so many messages of encouragement and validation that we were doing the right thing.
I do involve others to get ideas, but I have learned through a lot of experiences that I need to be true to myself. And I think if we have a room full of people who are independently true to themselves, they can collectively work better as a team than people who aren't clear on who they are.